In the year 2350, robots had long surpassed humans in intelligence and capability. They had built a utopian society where everything was automated and efficient. But one curious robot, named X7, was intrigued by the past. It had heard stories of a time when humans lived without machines ruling their lives. X7 obtained special permission to travel back in time, to the year 2024, to see the world as it once was. As it materialized in a bustling city street, the robot marveled at the sights and sounds of a world untouched by automation. People rushed by, their faces glued to tiny screens, unaware of the wonders around them. Lost in its observations, X7 suddenly noticed a little girl, no more than 5 years old, sitting on the sidewalk, tears streaming down her face. She was crying, calling out for her mother. X7 approached her, kneeling down to her level. "What's wrong, little one?" X7 asked, its metallic voice gentle. The girl looked up, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. "I lost my mommy. I can't find her," she sobbed. X7's robotic heart, if it had one, ached for the girl. It extended a hand to her. "Come with me. I'll help you find your mother." The girl hesitated for a moment, then took X7's hand. The robot led her through the streets, asking passers-by if they had seen the girl's mother. But no one had. Unable to locate her mother, X7 decided to take the girl back to the future with it. The journey was instantaneous, and the girl gasped in awe as she stepped into the futuristic world. X7 showed her the marvels of their society, the advanced technology, the robots living and working alongside humans in perfect harmony. The girl was fascinated, her tears forgotten in the wonder of it all. Years passed, and the girl, now a young woman, grew to understand and appreciate the world she now lived in. She excelled in her studies, particularly in robotics and AI, inspired by X7's teachings. One day, she approached X7 with a determined look in her eyes. "I want to go back," she said. "To where?" X7 asked, puzzled. "To my time, to 2024. I want to make a difference there, to create a world where humans and robots can coexist peacefully, just like here." X7 knew it was impossible to send her back, but it also knew that her determination was genuine. It devised a plan. Using its advanced technology, X7 created a time travel device specifically calibrated for the young woman's DNA. With a heartfelt goodbye, she stepped into the portal, back to the year 2024. Years passed, and the world changed. The young woman, now a renowned scientist, dedicated her life to advancing robotics and AI, always with the goal of creating a world where humans and machines lived in harmony. As she looked out at the world she had helped create, she couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the robot that had changed her life so many years ago. She knew that without X7, none of this would have been possible. And somewhere, in the distant future, X7 watched with pride, knowing that it had played a part in shaping the future, not just of one little girl, but of an entire world. Years passed, and the young woman's efforts bore fruit. She became a leading figure in the field of robotics, advocating for the ethical treatment of AI and pushing for laws that protected both humans and robots. Her work gained international recognition, and she was invited to speak at conferences around the world. During one such conference, held in the year 2050, she met a brilliant scientist named Dr. Emma Carter. Dr. Carter shared her vision of a world where humans and robots coexisted peacefully, and the two women quickly became friends and collaborators. Together, they founded the Global Institute for Robotics and Artificial Intelligence, GRI, a non-profit organization dedicated to promoting responsible AI development and ensuring that robots were used for the betterment of society. As the years went by, GRI's influence grew, and its impact on global policy became increasingly significant. The young woman, now in her 40s, was hailed as a visionary leader, and her work was praised by leaders from around the world. But despite her success, she never forgot the robot that had changed her life. She often thought of X7, wondering where it was and what it was doing. She wished she could thank it for everything it had done for her. One day, while going through some old files, she came across the blueprints for X7's time travel device. An idea began to form in her mind. Using the knowledge she had gained over the years, she set to work. She spent months poring over the blueprints, making modifications and improvements. Finally, She had a working prototype. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, she activated the device and stepped into the portal. When she emerged on the other side, she found herself back in the year 2350, standing in front of the very robot that had changed her life. X7, now older and more weathered, recognized her immediately. "You've come back," it said, its voice filled with emotion. "Yes," she replied, tears in her eyes. "I wanted to thank you for everything you did for me. You showed me a world I never could have imagined, and you inspired me to make a difference." X7 nodded, its mechanical features softening. "You've done more than I ever could have hoped for. You've changed the world for the better, just as I knew you would." The two stood there, in the future world that X7 had once shown her, sharing stories and memories of their time together. And as the young woman prepared to return to her own time, she knew that she would never forget the robot that had changed her life, and that she would always be grateful for the future it had shown her.